on other people. And it's not me.
It's odd.
I'm probably not even on the scale. I mean, let's be real. Am I, me personally, am I actually on a scale of, like, professionalism? Because I shouldn't be.
Well, you are, and I'm not
You
saying that other
shouldn't be.
people aren't, but you care.
Oh, sure.
It bothers you
I'm probably not even on
when
the scale.
somebody else who should be a professional is doing a rank amateur job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have quality.
If I'm better than you, you have a problem.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not I'm not a professional. I am not like a highly technically educated person. If you can't get beyond me and you're saying that you are, you're the problem.
For some reason.
Like if Maanya's running around being like, "Hey, I have,"
I'm erupting or leaking. I'm not quite sure why.
Huh?
Just to let you know.
What? What?
His audio. If
No, I'm leaking.
if his, I'm concerned. This is causing me concern. If Maanya's going around being like, "Hey, I have an education in something," and then she sucks at that thing worse than I do, she's the problem.
Okay, I see your point.
Oh.
I see your point.
Oh.
I see your point.
I guess we're starting.
I see.
Hello there.
Hey.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Debate Hub, where we're talking about volcanoes today.
Yes, we are. And then some.
How's everybody doing?
Me, I'm a bit tired.
Maanya's tired.
I'm actually tired.
I just got back
I'm not.
from the bar. I'm
Yeah.
3 drinks in.
I just got back from Canada.
Yeah, Landon was
Nice.
hanging out in the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It
Canada.
was actually kind of nice, although the one of the places I was in, I don't know if this is a this Canadian province thing or it's a general thing, but parents seem to be competing as to who has the most massive baby strollers.
Oh.
We're talking about baby strollers that if you were going down a hallway in a hotel, in order to let them pass, you've got to like go to the side and kind of let them scoot by, type of thing. I would
Like the
think
minivan of baby strollers?
Yes. And in fact, I saw one where the car was small and they were towing behind a trailer that had the baby stroller. And we're talking about baby strollers, which I think, the what I think would be the typical size when I was that size. But we're talking about volumes that were like 6 times or more. I mean, just massive things. And it seemed to be a competition. And of course, when you had 2 parents who were going opposite directions in a hallway, they had this problem of stroller.
Collision?
Yes.
Contest?
Is that a new thing?
Who's got the right of way for the stroller?
Oh
yes,
God,
who's got the
no.
bigger stroller, right? Almost like they're carrying around this playpen, and it's only like 1 kid. It's not like they have like 17 in there.
17 kids or a 17-year-old? Were they big enough to fit a 17-year-old?
Yes, I think, Chess, that you could actually podcast from somewhere.
I can podcast from the minivan stroller. Guys, welcome to my new tiny house. It's a stroller. I'm a van streamer now.
But I'll tell you what.
There are van streamers actually.
Yeah.
In real life, Chess is actually bigger than she appears. It's the camera that makes her look.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, she does that on purpose. She does that on purpose.
Yes,
the camera is
because
up here.
yes, you can make it bigger up. There was something at one time where you were experimenting with the different camera angles, and you got to a good camera angle, but then for some reason you switched back to your current thing. But you
don't like this one? You pick then. Which one should I pick?
I thought that somewhere along the line I'll go with what Maanyaa says.
Landon likes the
Maanyaa
Dami
says.
Mommy one.
Oh, now he's putting it on me. What the hell? What?
No. I say,
Excuse me?
but no, eye level is the
Oh,
thing.
this is like too high.
Yeah, like that. It makes you look tiny.
Yes, there you go. Now you're much more massive. You're more
What?
authoritative.
This is not. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. I don't know what that is, but it ain't right.
By the way, this is a
Why
show
is
about
fucking Allen
volcanoes.
key not working? It's chaos
Just
today.
in case you want to know.
Is it the right? It should be the right Allen key. What the fuck?
Today is chaos. All right, what's going on with Pele? Welcome to the Volcano Show.
Yes.
Guys.
Hello. I was
Hey,
say,
guys.
oh yes, that's right. Sorry. Hello, folks. I think we've done.
Okay, this is the right Allen key. Sorry.
Not always one to be stepped on. Yes. Yes. Well, I think that we could ask Chesh not to step on us. I think she would be very obliged.
Don't tread on me. It's the don't tread on me snake, but it's just got Landon's face on the end of it.
No, but this is actually no, it's not there. So,
Okay.
for those that are new, we talk about volcanoes, although we often focus primarily on the Kilauea volcano in the Big Island, Hawaii. The volcanoes are very common. Right now, as of August 6th, we had 65. There are actually 47 erupting right now, and 65 this year. We seem to be on par for meeting or exceeding the 2024 count of 56. Now, the average number of eruptions, a number active, I guess, between 2010 and 2024 is 73. So we're kind of behind with 47 erupting. The average annual number should be around 73. So both 56 and 65 are kind of subpar for volcanic stuff. And of course, where we have the usual in the two in Italy, Stromboli and Etland, that are just all
the usual suspects.
Yeah. We have in Iceland this particular one that's been erupting for a while. It's actually on the peninsula. The Reykjavik Peninsula has had some really nice ongoing eruptions, off and on, and so I have that one going right now. And of course, you have the usual. Ethiopia is part of the Africa is kind of splitting in a couple of pieces, and so there's this volcano in Ethiopia going. Indian Ocean, DR Congo is a couple, and we see right now Indonesia has 8. They're back to the usual number of 8. They usually are exceeding or leading the most number of volcanoes with some very active ones. The Flores volcano in Indonesia, or one in Flores, is actually producing pretty spectacular logs. In the Alaska Peninsula is still silent. There's a couple unrest. Central American one in central Mexico is usually going there. A couple in Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Ecuador has a pair. Peru, Chile has now one again. It's actually on the Chile-Argentine border. Of course, South Sandwich Islands and Mount Erebus in Antarctica is always erupting. Kilauea is erupting, but also Papua New Guinea and a couple of Solomon Islands and Tonga and Vanuatu. And of course, Kamchatka. Now, if you look at this, Kamchatka actually has 5. So, and the Kurio Islands are 6. So technically, Russia has 6. Japan has 2, and actually, I'm sorry, Japan has 3. No, 4. I'm sorry, that's right. There's 4 because I remember that Iwo Jima is also in Japan. Has a pair. So lots of volcanoes.
Why do I get the vibe that Canada has, like, especially for its landmass, has like the least number of volcanoes?
I mean, in terms of active volcanoes, they're tied for a number of countries that have 0. But remember, and I was explaining this to a guide. We were trekking through in sort of central BC, and I quizzed him saying, do you know the last time there was a volcano in Canada? And say, oh yeah, there's lots of British Columbia that is lacks of people. And he thought, oh, no. Really, there's lots of BC that there's no one there. And in fact, the last recorded eruption of a volcano didn't get noticed by anyone until 8 years later.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
To be fair, people are just chilling out doing other things. But it's like, oh, did you notice we had an eruption? No one noticed. So yeah,
it's not exactly on our priority list. And like I said, that like the relative size of Canada comparatively is like a little silly. We're a silly place. We're a little bit silly.
I think
it's fun, but you're fun, and I certainly enjoyed going there. I'm going to go back there. So let's look at the update of Kilauea. So here is the current thing. Right now, Kilauea is not erupting, but episode 30 is expected to ran actually on August 6th and for about 12 hours. And we're expecting episode 31 sometime between 2 days and maybe 5 days from now. And those that follow how much we've had sulfur dioxide levels at around 1,200 to 1,500 tons per day. So it is definitely still in the watch phase. We're between episode 30 and 31. And we're expecting episode 31 to start in 2 to 5 days. Now, we look at the deformation data, and this is something that's very important, one of Chesh's favorite indicators. And if we look, let's look at the monthly.
I love the charts, man. The charts.
Let's go.
The cards.
Here is a set there, and this is that big quake that occurred in Kamchatka. That caused the volcano to wiggle. I mean, when there's a reasonably sized earthquake, the seismic waves travel around the world, even though you might not feel them on your feet. But they do jiggle things, and when you've got a bunch of dissolved gases under pressure in magma, and you shake it, it's like taking a fizzy can of soda and shaking it, and it kind of gets foamy. And so you see that the volcano responds. It doesn't cause it to erupt. Although I imagine if that occurred right at the peak when it goes off, that might tip it into the phase. But here's something important to know. So our last volcano show was July. Was it 18th around there?
16th of July, if I'm not wrong.
16th. Giant say.
No.
Yeah. So.
No. Got the dates wrong.
Maanya's in a different time.
Yeah, I'm into a different time zone. Sorry. My notes say this is for.
I mean, they're seriously, American. You got to be careful.
We should.
Of July.
Tariff.
I don't know if there's a giant spider on my ceiling or if that's just a piece of fluff.
Well, that's a good sign of the spider, because the spider is there eating other things you probably don't
I love spider friends, but I'm just not. I don't know if you. Hold on. We've already been futzing with my camera. May as well.
Hey.
Hi, you guys see that black dot? I don't know if that's a fluff or if that's a spider.
That's a spider.
I think it's a spider. Yay. Spider bro. Also.
Yes, I am in Tomorrowland. I am in Tomorrowland. I am tired and I have not had any caffeine this morning. And I'm just
but look, this is the 1 month thing. Here's our last volcano show occurred around right here.
Yeah.
And you notice we've had there was 29 and there was 30.
And it's been a little while since we explained what the tilt meter's actually measuring. Do you mind?
Yes. Okay, so on this scale, there's a thing called microrad or microradian. And what's a microradian? Well, if you imagine a bar that's 1 kilometer long and you lift it up 1 millimeter, what's that? Well, if you imagine something that's 6/10 of one of those mile thingies, and you lift it up by 1 US dime, that's 1 microradian. Little tiny deal. And this is showing the tilt at the summit. The blue line in particular is one we're looking at, is at the near the summit. So it shows that the mountain, that magma is pushing up, and the mountain will expand and tilt up. And then when the volcano starts erupting, so let's take this drop right here, right? This long thing with the mountain, basically pressure is building up. So the mountain, imagine the mountain was bulging up. And at the peak, the magma broke through, created a lava fountain. And these are this downward drop is when essentially all that magma pushed out on the surface became lava. So the result is that when it erupts, it sags back in. And
it's sort of like measuring the amount of pressure buildup as it builds and then releases.
Like in a pressure cooker.
Yes. But magma could also, instead of coming out to becoming lava, could head down one of the spines of the volcano to go somewhere else, or it could go back down. I mean, magma could just decide, never. And when the eruptive episode ends, the magma will basically descend back down, and it won't be so jumpy. But look at the past 3 months. We can see these mini eruptions going on up and down. And again, this has been classic of this episodic eruption that has occurred. We've had 30 since Christmas Eve. That was back in last December 23rd. And that shows you, again, the blue line is what we're concerned with. The other one is a vent down the east rift at Pu'u'o. But the main one we're looking at is this summit thing. And so you have these periods of inflation where the magma is beginning to rise to the point where the pressure drops, and dissolved gases that are liquefied boil, come out of solution, begin to fizz, and so that added gas pressure causes the ground to swell. And so we're seeing when it goes up, it's swelling. Now these shifts of 10 microradians and so forth is a pretty big shift. Normally, if it is in normal things, we might see half microradian or so. So these are big swings because the magma is really causing the ground to deform. GPS wise, this is a different way of doing it. So this graph here is the tilting. Basically, they basically have this sort of water tray, and as the magma causes the ground to tilt slightly, to push up, the water basically runs down the tube, and so they can very accurately determine the set. But these are very large. Again, when we get to the point where Kilauea is not erupting, we'll see maybe half microradian type shifts over days as opposed to these big eruptive ones. GPS is a different thing where you have two precision GPS instruments on the other side of the caldera, and we're measuring the distance across. And so here is on the scale is in fractions of a meter. It goes from -0.2 to 1.5. So that's a 3.35 meters, which for those that still use the old imperial units is about a foot, right? And so we can see the lead up where it was not erupting back here and it started erupting on Christmas Eve. And so when it started erupting, the caldera shrunk, but then we get into this up and down, up, down, down. These are the various episodes of the periodic episodes, showing that the actual caldera is expanding, contracting by about 10 centimeters. And that's a pretty big thing given the caldera is about 3 to 5 kilometers across, expanding, contracting 10 centimeters. So this is showing sideways expansion, where this is showing the ground tilting. Basically, if you think of the tilt meter as a very fine bubble. Over the 5 years, we can see when we've had major eruptions here and major eruption here, and then this wiggly bit here is this ongoing episodic eruption, which is in sort of a new phase of what's happening with Pele. Now, when we look at what's going on with regards to, let's go back into here and look at the actual information. Let's go into this overview. I want to show you, these are the table of eruptive episodes starting from Christmas Eve. And so if we look at what's happened since our July 17th, we've had only 2 fountains. So when we last were there, July 9th was episode 28, and had a 320 meter tall fountain that put out roughly 3.5 million cubic meters. That's 3.5 million washing machines worth of lava. But it had instead of every 8 or 9 days, it had 11-day pause. Episode 29 when it occurred, and episode 29 had a fountain of only 65 meters. So not the 320, 380, 350 meter tall stuff, but only 65 meters. It was much lower. However, if you look at the volume at 6.7 million cubic meters was a very substantial volume. So if you look at some of these other volumes, these are 2.4, 3.1. The volume is up, but the height is up. I'm sorry, Maanyaa, you were saying?
So this one, and you can see this one lasted for longer number of days, right? This lasted for 16 days.
That's the period between. I'm sorry, this is the period between. So
okay, sorry.
The gap okay. Instead of being 5 to 9 days, the gap was 11 days, and then last one was 16 days.
The hours also.
But the duration was 13 hours or 11 hours,
longer.
and the volume is up, right?
Yeah.
So look at the last one that occurred. It was a period of 16 days, much longer, but the volume was at 8 million cubic meters.
Wow.
The volume of, except for that weird one in episode 3, was the highest volume of any episode since the beginning.
Excuse me, I'll be right back. I gotta go check into the burn ward. Dapper just sent me a message that just lit me on fire. I gotta go.
Hi, Dapper.
Then go.
No, go on. Holy shit!
Look at the thing the fountains were at 320, 350, 380 meters high, and now they're only 65 to 50. So you say, well, does that mean that the eruption is slowing down? Well, no, because the volume is up. Although the number of days between eruptions is there. So, if you look at normally when we went from June 18th to July 18th, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4 erupt episodes. This time we only had 2. But the volume is up.
So for the July 20th and the next one that happened in August, were there 2 points from where the lava was coming, or was it just coming from 1 point?
Just from 1 point during the fountain, 13-hour, and it was a 13-hour fountain phase. So it was actually a longer one, because you look at the other fountains are like 8-10 hours. This one was longer, and the volume was up. And this last one was 12 hours, another one, and it had 8 million cubic meters. So the volume is much higher. Now, maybe that's because the hole that's coming in has been widened. During the episode 29, people noticed that it was shooting laterally. It wasn't going up, but going to the side. And maybe that the vent, it basically has kind of blasted so much that it has widened the vent.
Yeah, that's possible.
But the other side of the coin is it's not happening that often. Let's go back again. If you look at the tilt meters for this month, we only had two events. Look at back to here. These are months we had several per month going, and now we had 2 much longer swings.
It's slowing
the
down.
The swing was about as. So is it slowing down? Well,
or is it prepping for something bigger?
Well, it's more about relative speed to what is going on now as opposed to what is going to happen.
Yeah. But is it a matter that it's happening because there's so much volume that it takes longer for it to build up again?
Yeah.
Or is it that it's slowing down?
Right.
So when you get your predictions, but if you had on your bingo card fewer eruptive events, you probably did well. But is it slowing down and stop? We'll talk about that in a moment. So if we look at again what's happened to the summit, here's the map of the summit, and we can see now that the lava that's poured out. Here are the two vents over here on the side that have the sort of the pair of stuff. So it's in that one spot, I should say, not just one vent. And it has flooded to the point where, remember that we had that one erupt episode where we had some busy fountains going on to the east side.
Yeah.
It's sort of half covered up. There was a camera, but it got lucky because the lava went around it. That lava has now reached to that stage. So through, this is not counting episode 30, we've had 130.1 million cubic meters, 34.4 billion gallons of lava. And it has covered 358
That's a lot.
hectares or 885 acres.
How many cups is that? There's what is it? 4 cups.
Is that a mega cup?
4.2 cups per liter. How many liters are in a gallon?
Oh my God! You're gonna start with that.
Well, actually, if you're doing imperial stuff on gallons, and we're assuming this is not imperial gallon, but a normal gallon.
Please don't.
There are 2 cups to a pint, 2 pints to
Why are we using
quart,
gallons?
2
and
pints.
4 quarts to a gallon.
4 quarts to a gallon. So how many quarts are in a liter?
So 16 cups. So
how many shots?
4 billion gallons. There. Now, if you talk about,
fluid ounces.
So there's, there are, what is it, 8? You see, you're making me do all this thing. 8 pints to a gallon.
Chesh, you are so cruel.
Yes. Oh, I deserve it. I deserve it because I was saying things to Chesh.
You deserve it.
30.4 times 8. So this is 275,000 megapints.
275,000 megapints. That's a lot of pints.
If you're doing ever heard units.
Ever heard units.
I am just like that guy, that lawyer.
But
now just being remembered for you took a mega pint glass of wine.
A mega pint? I like Johnny Depp's response. A mega pint?
A mega pint.
But yeah, so the average thickness is about 80 meters in this area. So we can see that this is now eventually I'm hoping that this whole lava thing will fill up this block because it'll get easier to get into this area. And we'll see in a moment what do you mean about a previous pit and founding area. So with regards to the earthquakes, right? We do have a bunch of earthquakes. The color shows depth, so blue is deep, and this is the area where the magma is coming up from very, very deep, down in like the 20 to 40 kilometer depths. And this is the summit up here. All these earthquakes are here because this activity is pushing basically the mountain is being pushed towards the sea, and so we get little similar on the monthly side here. Where we look at stuff, we can see that again, most of the quakes are along the edge as the island is basically pushing itself in the sea, and there are activity up in the summit, and of course the rising magma to the side. So we still see magma rising from very deep in the mantle. We still see the cycling. The volume is up, but the number of episodes is down. Air quality wise, of course, it's not erupting, so there's no air quality alerts. But it does, when erupt, create downwind problems. So let's look at pictures. Here is a very nice thing showing you the picture of with the remote camera, showing you what episode 29 fountain looks like. If we go into the original and zoom in again, it's not high. We do see two spots, but it is flowing to the side, right? It's flowing, going laterally rather than up. And again, it had this particular episode 29 had the second of the erupted episodes since the beginning.
It looks like it's wide. The vents have widened, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
Yes. And so that may be part of the if you look and say, well, the fountain's lower, it's only like 50 to 60 meters.
Is it me or is it Landon that I'm hearing a lot of crackling? Where is it coming from?
That's coming from Landon.
It's coming from me.
Yeah. So your connection might be loose.
On your microphone.
Yeah. Let me give it a double check.
Test. Yeah. Crackle.
There's a little bit, but just keep going. You're good.
Okay. So we can see that the mound has created, has gone up quite a bit in terms of where these vents are. You can see the backwards thing when it was having the high fountains of all the ash that's deposited behind it, volcanic pumice. Here's another one showing, this is a better panorama showing you the extent, let's go to the extent of the stuff. So you can see there's the eruption on the side, and you can see the extensive flow.
Yeah, it's interesting how much like the Forbidden Brownie plane changes every month.
Yes, and it's, as you see, remember, this used to be halfway to sea level. This used to be fairly, very, very, very deep. And because remember, in the map area here, it was showing that we're, this used to be around, around, I guess, almost meters, right? So it is filled in quite a bit. And it has a little bit more before it ends up filling into getting to the sort of the normal plane. But the volume of stuff is basically heading that way, where if we have, maybe a year or more of this stuff, it might actually into the main plane, which would be nice, right? To get this all leveled off and then going forward. The area behind it still has lots of pumice and rocks. Of course, we can see someone with proper gear. They have, they're basically measuring the amount of rocks there, as well as having the proper gas masks and other material.
I like good PPE.
Yes.
You heard it here, folks. Maanyaa likes good PP.
I said PPE, okay? I didn't say PP.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right.
And by the way, Maanyaa, when it first, when we first went into COVID lockdown, this was my preferred mask of choice. I didn't want the little chin diapers. I wore this thing. I was, like I said, if Pele's gases can't get to me, I can't get to them. I feel it. You're fine. But the problem was that it would freak people out. And I had other people saying that's not an approved mask. Like, you have to take this off to put on your silly clothing. Oh no, enough said. So you can see here's the main caldera, right? This is the main caldera, 3x5 kilometer caldera.
Beautiful.
There's the Halimau pit that's been widened there, and you can see again it's getting close. I really do want it to get to the point where it starts flooding into this region here. This hadn't really flooded in this region until last time it did it was in like 1910, 1917. So it'd be nice to get this thing filled in. It'll also be easier to gain access to this. There's a lot of rough rock there, so will give us a better access. But we'll see what it looks like down there in a few minutes. Things again, look into the zone. We can see how much is built up to the side. That mound, those vents, have built quite a bit of material, both where the fountain is and then the rocks behind it. So there's also a reasonable amount of mass piling up where the vents occur. Here's showing you, it looks like here's the old part of the old road that's been deleted that used to go around the caldera. You can look at the amount of ash out here.
Got the Sims treatment. We're all just Sims in Melee in Madam Pele's world.
Right.
And look at how much ash, how much rock pumice is behind this thing now. So there's the vents and the mound, and so there's a serious amount of material that's here. Now this is very dangerous to get near because this is a very slippery stuff. Besides lots of earthquakes as well. Yeah, you don't want to go near this area, but that will eventually stake down and settle out to get to the point. So it'll be fun to be able to, when this thing stops and this thing has filled in, it'll be much easier to actually get a trail down here. You see that line? I'll show you where that is. There's a number of trails that used to go across the caldera. There's a line right around here. That's a trail.
Yeah, I can see that. If you see at the edge, you can see a slight
on the left, and it goes out to this spot. Obviously, they say, please don't go. There's another trail over here as well. So there used to be some nice trails. It would be nice to be able to get a trail down into this area because it's easier to step into this spot once it stops erupting. So we look at there. Now this, I want to show you what it looks like towards the end, where it was not erupting, but it still is outgassing. You see in here that there is still lots of glowy bits. So it's not erupting, but you can see the stuff still sloshing down.
Wow.
There's one of the reasons why it may be, so it's a much wider vent than it was before. And so it's kind of sloshing around. So some of the reasons why it takes longer to get to an eruptive stage is that it's losing lots of gas pressure, right? The gas pressure that you saw is being released.
Damn.
So it takes longer to build up pressure.
We've got a poster that is, we've got an A3 size poster for it now. It's so spectacular, and it can be used on the tourism website.
So I apologize for the silly units they use, but if they want to talk about the history, right? That in the past, we've had 3 eruptions that had episodic lava fountains. And there have been 44 fountains at Pu'u'o'o. That's down that green line down the East Rift Zone between 1983 and 1986. So it had a bunch of fountains that time. The biggest fountain that Kilauea ever had was the famous Kilauea Iki eruption. And that was a fairly spectacular eruption that occurred. It was, at the time, had the world record for the tallest lava fountain ever. And that one had almost 595 meters high. So the 390 meters is really good. That's what this thing's referring to. But it lasted only a couple of days, and it had really one big thing. So we can see here the fountaining by the numbers. We've had 8 episodes where it's been quite high. It's been at least on the order of about 300 meters or more. And again, we've had lots of lava coming out.
Red Eye is asking the question, could there be vents running down to the ocean that have not been detected yet? And could that be the cause of the pressure drop?
So that's a really good point, Red Eye. Now the answer is no, and I'll explain why if you look at the map. Well, first of all, if the magma going somewhere else, we would see the effect of that towards earthquakes. So the magma is not just going to gently go into cavities; it's going to force its way through rock, and pressure will cause the gassing will cause the pressure to crack rock. And we would see earthquakes. We see piles of earthquakes, and typically where it would go if we look into this whole onset. Let's go look at this onset here.
We shall not go quietly into the night.
There's a summit, and you have two rift zones, the southwest and east rift zone, and those are where the magma has historically moved. It goes up to the summit and goes to the side. Where that line points to the east rift zone, that was Pu'u'o'o. That's where for almost 35.5 years, it came out a side vent that poured to the sea. But the magma went down the spine. For some reason, and we know, we've seen on the show, there was a brief, sort of 12-hour spurt over here and a couple of 12 hours around this spot. We've had things where the magma went down the side only for a couple hours and stopped. But the question is it going this well? First of all, we don't see the earthquakes. And we also don't see the tilting. That's another thing. We would see ground deformation because the magma's moving there, it would cause the ground to deform. It's not doing that. And we don't quite understand why it keeps coming up.
I imagine there would also be like a pretty major and easily noticeable impact on the heat signature in the ocean area around it, right?
Excellent.
And
as well as
affect the wildlife.
Yeah, and gas, we would see gas coming out through the cracks, so the rocks, you detect gas stuff, you get, and so...
it's one of those things that because Pele is such a monitored volcano, it'd be one of those things that'd be really hard to miss.
Yes. Not that it's impossible to miss, but we do not see any evidence of magma on the move.
Oh, and Red Eye is correcting himself and saying he should have said lava tubes and not vents.
Well, but there again, the lava tubes would have to get to the summit. It would go from the summit up. The magma would have to get into the lava tubes and going to the side. And we're not seeing that. We're not seeing any gas. Particularly if it's lava, you're going to get lots of gas coming out of lava because lava is very gassy. All that pumice you see, that's basically foam on the top of the
what lava. Did you say? You didn't say hummus, right? What did you say?
Pumice, right? Pumice stone.
Hummus, okay.
Hummus.
I was like, the stuff I dip my carrots in?
Not hummus. Pumice. The basically rock foam that you can do. Yes.
That's how you learn new words, guys.
So what you would see.
I'm the poster child for getting words wrong.
If it was lava going down tubes, is that to be some spot where the magma would be pushing up to the point of reaching tubes. We would see the deformation of that. We would see the gas coming out. We'd see the earthquakes, and then of course we would then see the heat signature, as Jess said, and going down. We don't see that yet. So I wanted to show you about where Kilauea Iki was. So remember, we were seeing the pictures of the main caldera. Kilauea Iki is this side caldera here that had the famous. That was the site of the famous nearly 600 meter tall lava fountain. And this is what the site looks like now today. It's actually a really nice hike. You can go down. This thing across there is a trail going across this thing. The Kilauea Iki vent was around here. And to give you perspective, the caldera is this way, over where I'm showing you. That's the direction of the caldera. Let's go back to the map. We're looking at this thing where the caldera is. This is that spot. I said the caldera is that way. This is the Kilauea Iki site. Little Kilauea. And it's really a nice hike, right? This is the park center around here. You go through lots of very interesting trees. You hike down there, the switchback trail. It goes across. This particular thing had a very, very, very deep lava lake. It had the lava lake here was almost 250 meters deep by the time Kilauea. So it had a very tall fountain, and you can see back. This is that same sort of backwash, all that material that flowed out in 1959. We can see all basically the thick rock deposit that came from the fountain. And so this is a sign of
that's a giant footprint.
Happened. Yes.
That's a footprint of a giant, and he's probably wearing Adidas.
Now, originally this pit was about 4 times deeper than we see now. was a very, very deep pit. And the bottom of the pit was something where people had, where it was very difficult to get to. So the bottom of the pit had plants that were exotic even for Hawaii, because the Hawaiians couldn't even get down to there. And it was a botanical paradise. But sadly, the vent opened up here. It had this fountain. It quickly flooded. And the result was that those rare plants were incinerated. But this is part of the cycle of life on the island. I do recommend if you do go to the Volcanic National Park, this is a very nice day hike to go across, and you can get it. And this trail, they've sort of scraped it out so it's not so difficult to walk on. You can see the trail.
Remember, if you go and visit a volcano somewhere and you are not a local of that region, be polite or I will disown you.
Yes. It's nice to be nice. So you can see the switchback down here. Lovely, there's lots of very interesting forest stuff you can get to walk through, and you can walk across here. They used to be able to have a trail going off into the caldera, but don't go there now because this is very safe. This is all very safe there. There still is, if you dig down, I helped do a drill thing around here, and we drilled down. This was in 2002. We drilled down about 50 feet and had this drill bit was melting. So 50 feet of rock was layering. We figured that the, so that's about, I'd say that was their measuring feet. I'm sorry. It's about 20 meters deep.
Yeah.
And there still is about, even today, there's probably still about 150 meters of rock that's in semi-liquid form at the bottom. So no doubt what will happen with Kilauea down here, for its lava pit, right, that we're going back to here, this is going to be, Kilauea on a ground scale, and no doubt deep down here is still quite liquid underneath. Why the magma still insists on coming up to this one spot and going through that hole rather than taking the easy route down one of the two vents is still unexplained. So I'm going to show you this is basically an anime GIF showing you the buildup of the vent to the side here. It'll restart here because we're now in December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August, right? So that gives you sort of this thing of how fast it's building up. But still, as we say, we've already had 2 eruptive events since this month, since last month, but the volume was spectacular. And even though it wasn't high, the vents seemed to widen up, and so we had a tremendous amount of flow. It really had, and even the best time to see this is during night, or this is just at dawn, showing again the scale. This is like a kilometer wide thing of the scale coming from that through that area. It is really pouring out lava, and even though this is solid, it's very squishy, and underneath here is some fairly hot rocks to semi-liquid rocks. Somewhere in the middle here is buried is Gilligan's Island.
It's got hot rocks, guys. The volcano's got hot rocks.
Yeah, but the patterns that makes are just gorgeous. Again, this is an extensive amount of flow from just this one episode.
Looking at stuff like that is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about when I say that, like, listen, things can be predetermined, but the variables are so high that you would never be able to calculate it.
It's a very chaotic system.
Is Pele chaotic good, or she's chaotic neutral, or?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
I'd have to read up a little bit more on her.
Some might say chaotic good.
Okay.
She's a nature god, basically, right? So generally, nature gods are chaotic good.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
Unless you're a jerk. Right?
Well, if they're a jerk, then they're chaotic neutral because there's not usually much.
No, if you're a jerk, she takes care of you, right? That's why the Polynesians are into hospitality. One of the reasons why it's part of their culture.
Yeah, so I would say that she's probably. I doubt she's lawful. That tends to not align with nature gods. Nature gods don't tend to follow like specific rules per se. So I would probably say that she's likely chaotic good or chaotic neutral. I'd have a hard time seeing nature as being selfish. So
yeah. But good question.
Pelepedia.
Right?
Check Pelepedia. We are Pelepedia. What do you mean? That's us.
So I want to show you what they.
Hang on. We haven't finished. No.
Maanya's not done yet, Landon.
Please.
Yeah, because the rigid, like the nature, if I might dare say, is being set on its own path. Would you say that makes them rigid? Like they're not gonna make exceptions, right, for anyone. They don't do that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it a law.
They might have their own code.
Have you seen Australia? Aren't you in Australia? There's no rules here.
Sorry. I forgot. I'm not in New Zealand anymore. I'm in Australia.
That is true. One of my Indian guides said, Australians seem to swear a lot. And I said, well, to them it's not swearing, it's just normal.
Do you have any idea how many times my site manager has used the R word instead of in front of everyone?
Really?
Yeah.
And the C word.
Interesting.
And the B word and the...
Not the C, nor the B, specifically the R word.
I get the vibe that, like...
No. She has no qualms about it.
Yeah.
Does not
so, back to Pele. So we see here is a collection sample system. The new PPE, by the way, the old ones were basically welding type things, which tended to be cloth as asbestos, which was bad. So they now have non-asbestos. Yeah. So this is fire retardant material, and of course gas masks and protections.
Good.
I
see that.
The part of those who you see, that might look dangerous, but given where this shelf was very stable, right? There was no flowing there, so you didn't have it, and it was observed for some time. There's kind of a hole it was flowing into, and he's up on
that really does not look very stable.
This is fairly stable rock here. Yes, go ahead.
So, like, in the bucket, it's just ice cold water, is it?
Normal water, yes.
Yeah. So when you dunk it in, the temperature comes down quite rapidly, right?
Yes.
So let's go back to the basics. Like I think so, since Chesh said that we have, like, a while since we knew how tilt meters work, right? Or how they're interpreted. How about we look into what are you actually looking for when you're studying that rock that you have taken?
I grabbed a glob of glowing hot rock. What am I looking for?
So one of the things you're going to look for is composition, and composition in a couple of forms. One is actually just pure, the pure elements and composition. Another is the particular minerals that are there. There are minerals that will survive this temperature, and so you're seeing compounds. Another thing you're looking for is gases, even though that when the outside edge, when you dunk it in water, the outside edge freezes over and traps the gas inside. And so those chunks will be taken to a laboratory and crushed, and they'll basically release the gas bubbles that are inside. Now, to understand the gases that are in the rock, because remember, it's boiling gas, dissolved gases coming out of solution that causes the magma to come up and become lava. Even when it's at the surface, there still is dissolved gases there. So they want to know what's boiled, what gas is boiled will tell you how deep the boiling is occurring, where the loft of the magma that gives it its vertical things it's coming from, and also you can see through an eruption, a normal eruption that's not episodic. You can also see the change of material from old material that's warmed over in the top to new magmas coming up that has fresh gases and materials in there. So it tends to be elemental and compounds and dissolved gases.
What use is that information?
To tell you what in the magma column, what's happening in the magma column.
What are those?
and it's also a matter of giving you a notion of what might be happening in the eruption cycle, to give an idea about is the eruption truly waning, and we're beginning to see the amount of dissolved gases in the upper part of the magma chamber going down, suggesting that the eruption might be ending, or are we seeing fresh magma coming from down below, reinvigorating the magma chamber, suggesting we might have a foretelling of a future set of eruptions. Those are just some of the things you can gain from there. Also, the temperature as well is seen, but they do direct temperature measurements at the spot there. But again, this is fairly stable, solid rock here, and even there you can see the crust has filled. Look at the thickness of that crust. You could probably stand on that spot and not break it because you've got basically a thick chunk of rock. This is relatively solid there. Needless to say, they do testing of the spot before then. They're watching to make sure that you don't have a breakout of lava that will trap you. But this is very far from the edge, right? So the gas is going backwards. We're upwind, and this is one of the long finger streams. So if we go back to where is it? Over here.
Finger streams.
Yeah, we're looking for one of the things very far back here from the vent to show you. Does that question? Any other questions regarding what we're trying to do here? The composition, understand where material is moving, where we eruption phase.
There is one other question about
Sure.
the composition, specifically of the gases, from Smitty that asked, could you ignite the gases escaping through one of the cracks with a lighter?
The methane, so usually if you have lava that's in vegetation, that's where you'll get methane, because the lava cooks the vegetative material below it. When lava is going through forested area, it's very dangerous because the biomass that lava is going over gets trapped below it. The lava heats up, it produces all that methane, and then that thing can explode and send lava going everywhere. The other place where you can get gases we usually see at the beginning of these fountains is hydrogen gas coming out. Hydrogen is being dissociated because of the heat, and you get pure hydrogen gas that's igniting. But that happens.
The gas and the heat are disassociating, guys.
that would happen back much farther back there.
A lot of what was going to ignite would have already ignited by the time it's leaving.
Yes, and there's no vegetation here, so we're not going to see methane production at this level. So you're not going to get you don't have material that will ignite if it's already ignited back there at the vent.
Just so we're aware, Maanyaa, do you have our predictions from last time?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a couple of things there. I'll just show you again the thermal map showing you the vent and the extent. You look at this.
The thermal map is so cool looking.
Look at that. Look at how far. This is 1 kilometer. This has gone basically 2.5 kilometers to the edge of these flows. It really covers that thing pretty well. This was occurred on.
Science is so
like
cool.
A heart. It almost looks like a heart with like the main artery and the vein flowing through it. Like on the outside.
Those are called fingies.
So
Finger
here is
streams.
the 30 maximum fountains, and we can see that the last two are fairly small fountains, but the volume is up. So we don't have the really tall fountains from the 20s or the 10s, but you do have the volume that's reaching all the way across the caldera. Other quickly there, this shows you, this is usually, when Retta was asking what about lava going down, this is lots down the southwest zone where in 1974 the cracks opened up and it had long curtains there. We would see, before this reached the summit, we would see, or reach the surface, we'd see gas, we'd see thermal stuff, we would see tilt meters showing the expansion of that. We're not seeing that there. Here's a thing of showing you what the ground looks like. There's a helicopter there. If you look
helicopter,
down.
helicopter.
Helicopter, helicopter. That's how it's.
Right. And I'll show you what the ground looks like. This.
Did you that's how it's done me? Is that what you just did? Motherfucker.
This is how you do it, right?
I'm more equipped to do these things than you are.
I'm more Indian than you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I want to show you the texture of this material, right? The blobs that have been thrown out and sort of splatted. You get these very
do not clip that. Okay?
This is silicon glass stuff. This is very glass sharp things. So one of the things you do is you have to be protective material because this is biologically very rich, right? There's the algae bloom here is tremendous. Basically the biosphere is going nuts because you have this very rich material, this rich volcanic material that's glass, and you sit down, you're going to basically falling on broken glass, and you'll cut yourself. That's broken glass on a petri dish scale. So
little known fact. Those helmets are not actually of concern for falling rocks. Those helmets are actually concerned for birds that are flying too close, hitting too much gas, and dropping out of the sky.
So there's a protocol. If you slip and fall, even though you don't think you need to be checked out because if you get an infection. Go ahead.
It just reminded me of a story in high school, when I used to go for, early morning classes. They are like outside of school that are extra classes that your parents sign you up for because they want you to get into a good college. So
they're called extracurriculars.
No, extracurriculars, they are math, science, and all those classes.
Extracurriculars.
Tuition classes, if I might say. That's what we call them. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So they used to, because I was a certain age, I had a learner's license for a two-wheeler, and I could drive that around and go to my classes. And one day I'm just going, it's empty. The
Maanyaa on a moped. Yep. You ready for Elf on a Shelf? You get Maanyaa on a moped. Let's go.
It's a 60cc one. It's a 60cc one that's going, And I'm wearing my helmet. I was very serious about wearing helmets all the time. And then out of nowhere, this eagle, it's an eagle, not a crow, not a pigeon, an eagle comes in mid-dive swoop, and I'm just going forward, and it just sideways just gets me on my helmet, and I'm just
Birds are Muppets. Birds are Muppets.
Yes, and they've been at war with Maanyaa ever since.
6 a.m.
Retta
in the morning.
Can tell you about birds, dive bomb, and so forth. But it's anyway. So you can look again. This is climbing this stuff. Glass shards, very slick, very difficult. Fall, cut yourself, get infected. Just look at the very last thing. Look at the camera to see what's live picture, and there you can see.
Oh, not my camera. Oh, okay.
There's another live picture there. We can see of gas coming out the vent, and that's about it.
Yay!
Yay!
So let's just stop the sharing.
What were our predictions for last time?
Yes. How did we do?
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, Landon had said we should see similar number of episodes with smaller mountain height, fountain heights.
You got part right. The fountain wasn't as high, so you got that correct.
Yeah.
But less episodes.
Correct.
Yeah. Zar said alien ice cream cones. Chesh said...
I don't think we saw any alien ice cream cones. At least I didn't see any.
Not yet. Still holding out on that one.
We saw a giant footprint though in the ground.
We did see a giant footprint. That's true. Might be closer to those alien ice cream cones. Yeah. By the way, if you have predictions for this time, start writing them in the chat and I'll start collecting them.
Please put in the chat. Yes, please. Please put your chat.
Today I'm just out. I'm just out today. I just can't write. I just can't focus. I'm just gone. Chesh had said same pattern, lower downtime, or the energy.
So that I think you said that basically
Is that what you said?
Similar. Yeah, I think what you said was episodic things will continue, but you thought lower fountains and more downtime.
Yeah.
I would say would be pretty spot on.
That's right. Do I win?
I think she got a lot of bingos. So
I'm the alien who gets the ice cream this time.
So
any other people in the chat?
I had said. Oh yeah, anyone in the chat?
They're going. You read.
So I think so. We didn't have a lot of predictions last time, so it's just with me that's left. I had said by the next episode, the eruptions will stop. A few low energy ones, and then they will.
Well, you're right in there, the couple, but if you talk about volume, energy is. I would say
still
the energy. They're more energetic. They're more energetic even though they don't have the volume.
They're pushing out more volume. So I'm wrong. Chesh is the winner. I guess we are starting to get the mojo, Pele's mojo, but I might have spoken too soon. So because Madam Pele is like, did you say I'm predictable? No.
So what has the chat suggested?
So we do have something. There is a quick question from Smitty Landon about your lava lamps. They want to know how many of them are on brand.
These are all Haggerty authentic lava light lamps, trademark, and they're actually real lava light lamps that are real. These are four of the original Silicon Graphics lava lamps. So they are the originators of the Lavaran patent that has expired and that now Club Star uses. But these are all authentic on brand systems. And they're on timers. The timers are used down there. You might see the bottom timers where I turn them on for 6 hours, turn them off for 6 hours. They're cycled and they're staggered so that there's always a couple. So
Landon's got a whole system.
The two on the edge. You don't want to have it be continuous. If it's continuous, then you get turns to a goose egg. It ends up converging to a spot where you have a blob that's kind of goes up and down and not very.
It will reach an equilibrium.
Yes. So put on a timer.
One day we'll have to do a debate.
Don't let kids turn it into mayonnaise and other things. Right?
Now containing real lava.
Oh yeah.
So predictions. Good.
We need
April had said.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
April said what?
I'm predicting that it will keep slowing down. We are done with the predictions from the last episode. It was only like just us.
Yeah, there's only a couple last time. Yeah, April is predicting that it'll keep slowing down. So,
anyone else?
I think we're gonna see it plateau a little bit. I think we're gonna see the same thing this month as we're seeing. Like, I don't think it's gonna go up. I don't think it's gonna go down. I think it's gonna basically plateau a little bit for the next month.
Other people in the chat having predicting.
Not yet, but I do want to point out real quick that one of the days, Landon, we're going to have a debate hub where we talk about the math of the lava lamp.
Yes!
I'd go on.
Yes!
See? I knew people would like. I know.
Yes. And the difference between chaos and random and digital blenders and all that good stuff. Yes. There's lots of things.
Look at how excited Maanyaa is just at the prop. Both of you are so excited about this proposition. That's wonderful.
Yes. So I am predicting that we will have next month 2 or 3 events, episodes, probably 2. the volume will be similar to this month, but the fountain, because the hole is widened up, will be lower. Yeah. So there won't be the tall fountains, but there will be the volume. We'll get the collection of mega pints of
Do you
stuff
like
coming out.
chocolate? How about chocolate made with lightning, real lightning?
And so I think and the question is 2 or 3 is kind of depends on timing, right? The period seems to move now between about 8 and 12 days, so that could give us, given where because if it's next month, a month from now, it could be 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, put 2 or 3.
I want to see Red Eye make a prediction. Red Eye hasn't made predictions very much. Red Eye, what's your prediction, man?
Yes.
Also, I have a quick question for Landon.
Yes.
If you're gonna go visit a volcano, what volcano, and you want to see an eruption, which volcano do you think somebody should visit?
I would visit Kilauea if you want to go to the U.S., or if you want to go to the Mediterranean, you can take a boat near Mount Stromboli.
How long is the boat ride?
It's the last time was there was specific. We were there for a while, but it was like a 6-hour boat ride type of thing where we were going around and seeing other things. Other places where you might see the problem is that some of the Indonesian volcanoes are remote islands, so it's harder to get to the Indonesian ones. So I would say, and the Antarctic one is also really difficult to get to. So I would say either Etna and or Stromboli if you would go to Europe, or Big Island, Hawaii, and Kilauea. The thing is that with Kilauea, you can get quite close.
Yeah. And it's really well monitored, so it's way less dangerous. Yes. The other thing I would ask is, okay, what if you don't care about seeing an eruption, but just want to see a cool volcano?
I would say, one of the nicer volcanoes would be either Mount Rainier or Mount Baker.
Oh, there you go.
Northwest. Those are nice things because they have nice glaciers on them. Oh. And they're very volcanic state. Another one would be in Japan. Mount Fuji is, of course, a classic thing there for that. There are a couple of erupting volcanoes in Japan. They tend to be more gassy and steamy. Another way is you can take the flight from Santiago, Chile to Punta Arenas, Chile. It flies along the Andes Mountains, and you'll usually see one volcano erupting.
Yeah, so if anybody's looking at traveling or wants to go and check out these volcanoes, Landon's going to have the best recommendations. So if you have any questions about that, leave them in the comment section.
Okay, so we have more predictions?
Yeah, Maanya's got a prediction. We got one from Red Eye. Go ahead, Maanyaa.
I think we'll get one big lava fountain shoot.
One big one, okay?
One
episode, one big fountain. And, it's possible that what will happen
that means height.
Is that the vent will freeze in. From the material that sort of flows out will clog the vent and cause it to constrict again. That's certainly possible. But I'm going with the 2 or 3, most likely 2 episodes with the same volume as we saw, the higher than average volume, but
Red Eye is predicting Gilligan's Island will resurface and it will be populated with lava people. Will those lava people be the cast of Gilligan's Island?
There you go. That could be
clarifying question.
It is down there. It's I've been trying to find out from somebody how deep they think Gilligan's Island is buried at this point.
Yeah, and how much of it is currently left if it's like liquidated. The one other thing I would ask Landon when it comes to traveling, Landon, is there any volcanoes that you would avoid, not go to see?
So some of where you see volcanoes and ice. So if there's an Icelandic volcano,
I have a question about that.
Not on the Reykjavik Peninsula, but interior where there's glacier stuff. Lava and ice are bad. Erebus is very dangerous to go near.
So
what happens
based on
is
that,
that even if you don't get hit by the lava, the ground temperature will melt the glaciers, and you get high pressure, water
gases?
that
Explosions,
will work
yeah.
its way out and blast out the side and far away from this. Those tend to be cranky.
Those are the cranky
Please.
ones.
I would
Madam Pele is
probably
not a
recommend staying a little bit away from White Island, because it tends to be dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Well, the
Please
tourist
stay away from
operators, they have not restored the monitoring, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
No.
That was there to damage.
I have nothing against the tourism industry that has sprouted around that island, but I think personally they need to take responsibility also. That comes with that. So,
if I were the New Zealand government, I would recommend them to charge the tourism industry for the license to go there. Would be that they have to pay for the monitoring to show, and then
at
let
least
people know the danger.
Or at least show some log of data where they can say we were monitoring the island and we went there, something like that. Based on the where you said don't go to volcanoes which are near glaciers or in the area where there are glaciers. I have on social media seen people standing on ice, maybe a little too close to lava flows, taking pictures and videos. Are they AI generated, or false, or that happens?
I mean, there in Icelandic you do get that, and if you went to Mount Erebus, which I don't think they're at, that's in Antarctica, you'd have this thing. But generally no. I mean, there have been some Icelandic things that have had that, but the ones that you've been seeing most recently are in the Reykjavik Peninsula where there's not glaciers. Now, then to say that there aren't cases there. The thing you would not want to be, if you've got lava on the ground, you've got magma melting the bottom of that ice sheet, and you can get geysers, right? The thing that's just dangerous about getting to near the summit of Erebus is these gas geysers that basically break their way through cracks. You get normal cracks of a glacier moving, but then you get these superheated steam blasts coming out of cracks, and it's like, no, thank you.
Is there any other things? Yeah.
Probably it's just someone did a green screen or something like that to create that illusion. Just to make people think that they can be present somewhere where they can be close to lava flows to take pictures and stuff. Because
a lot of Instagram-y style that it's fake. It's that lifestyle sell isn't real.
And nowadays people can generate that sort of stuff. There are pictures where you'll get ice and lava, and though oftentimes you'll find those in places like well, there's some in Andes in the Patagonia region, but most likely be Icelandic.
I don't doubt that we can get pictures from certain distance, but this particular picture, it wasn't a picture actually, it was a video. It showed people standing on ice near a lava flow, taking with their phones out, and I'm just like.
And there have been stuff that are
some people are very stupid.
Because one of the things that when they had eruptions that were closer to the eastern end of the island, they had more fatalities from people dying of exposure.
Yeah.
Right. Than from lava beds.
I have one thing I'll show you guys before we wrap up, because this is a new thing that I enjoy doing. Well, everybody shills their shit. Look at this cute wild hamster.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And a cute.
It's very, very cute.
The @handle is real J Fair on Blue Sky if you're interested in following them. But isn't it cute?
If you notice, Cheshire's using videos and pictures of hamsters to lure you over to Blue Sky.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Landon, what do you got going on?
Well, the 40th anniversary International Obfuscated Seal Contest winners were released. We had a 4.5-hour show detailing the 23 amazing winners of IOCCC 28. So if you go to www.ioccc.org, you can see these amazing things that are under the Directory 2024. So that is there. There's for those people that might say, hey, I thought you were on vacation. I was in Canada, came back for this. I'm going to go back to Canada again. And so those people that want to
Landon
know
likes
when I'm
us.
coming back to work on some of the GitHub stuff and some of the tea contest stuff for the next contest. Next contest, by the way, we are scheduling it to open in December of 2025 this year. So code freeze for changes will occur in October, testing in November, and starts the contest in December of this year. But I'm having another week of vacation before I come back. So give me time. Meanwhile, enjoy the fruits of and check out things like Chesh's channel and what Maanyaa does, interesting things. Check out Dapper Dino. He has some crazy stuff going on and some fun stuff and educational stuff.
I rage bait trolls.
I believe the next one where you will see all of us doing news and politics will be the 30th of August. If I'm not
30th of August for the debate pub.
The
and also
pub.
Red Eye will loves to play, as he said, video games badly with all kinds of content. So you go there not for he wins a prize, but you go there for his play. By the way, he actually is a skilled gamer. He just tries to downplay it. But
he likes to mess around. He likes to fuck around and find out.
Yes, and Red Eye adds his own Aussie commentary to the game, which makes it fun.
I always recommend Aussie commentary. Aussie commentary is peak commentary. Like if you're watching commentary content, especially if it's like games and such, and it's like just like a goof and good time. If you're not watching Aussies do it, you're missing out because they're some of the funniest motherfuckers. I don't know if that's my Canadian sense of humor coming out. There's a lot of similarities between Canada and Australia. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they both have, and they have some really nice things they're getting. So check him out. He has some really nice fun bits that he does there. So
thanks for joining us, everybody.
That link in there, by the way, is the 2024 things that are going to go jump straight to the new winners.
Absolutely.
So, thanks again.
Say goodbye, everybody. Put your hands in Yzma. Yzma, put your hands in the air.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yay.